Are you tired of those manhwas where the MC hides his powers and acts like a clueless fool? I've got the best recommendations where the MC is a total badass, overpowered as hell, and isn't afraid to show it off. Watch till end as the last one is the craziest recommendation. This isn't your routine manhwa. Imagine a world where tombs suddenly appear, wreaking havoc across the globe. These tombs contain artifacts called relics, and they're not your average trinkets. These relics are insanely powerful, granting their possessors abilities, blessings, and powers that can change the game. Our MC stumbles upon an extraordinary relic called the Archaist's Relic, which grants him extensive knowledge about tombs. You might be thinking, how does knowing about tombs help him? Well, in this world, finding relics is like clearing a dungeon. It's not just about brute force, it's about knowledge too. So what does our MC do? He starts working for a big company, finding relics and handing them over to the CEO, who becomes the strongest relic user in the world. But here's where it gets wild. The CEO, despite our MC's loyalty, betrays him, trapping him in a dungeon. Now our MC is no slouch when it comes to stealing relics, but he's not exactly equipped to take on the monsters lurking in this trap. On the brink of death, he's given a choice by a crow to restart his life. He jumps back in time to before the tombs appeared. Armed with future knowledge and a thirst for revenge, our MC flips the script this time. He's on a villainous rampage to become the strongest relic user in the world. I'm not going to spoil what the crow really is or what happens next, but trust me, it's fan-freaking-tastic. The manhwa is Tomb Raider King, and it's finished with 401 chapters. Oh, and did I mention there's an anime adaptation planned for 2027? But why wait when you can read it now? A demon tower appears holed up. This isn't some routine MC ascending the levels of a tower. Even if you've already read this manhwa, don't skip this part because I've got news for you. The tower spawns monsters that are overwhelming humanity's power. Amidst this chaos, 12 gods who call themselves the divine gods choose 12 awakened ones to receive their blessings and help humanity. But here's the kicker out of nowhere. A 13th awakened appears stronger than any other. And guess what? This dude didn't receive any blessings from the gods. Who is he? None other than our MC. With great power comes great appearance. Just kidding? While a saint is his best friend, the rest of the awakened envy him because of his immense power. They hatch a plan to clear the tower by taking out the tower boss. Everyone shivers in fear just by looking at the boss, but our MC, he decides to take him head on. The boss is powerful, but the MC finishes him off, though he loses an arm in the process. And then, in a shocking twist, he's stabbed in the back by an unknown awakened and pushed into a trap that spawns monsters endlessly. For 20 years, Lee Gaon slashes and annihilates every last monster in this never-ending pit. And when he finally emerges, he's a whole new beast. He's got his arm back, looks like a total homie, and is ready for revenge. The world has changed, and the awakened ones have followers blessed with artifacts and powers. But now, Lee Gaon isn't just a player. He's a god himself, Ophucus. This manhwa has some killer artwork and a storyline that's gory as hell. The name is Return of the Disaster Class Hero, with 89 chapters and counting. Before we go further, if you're loving these recommendations, don't forget to smash that like button and drop a comment on which type of recommendation you dig the most. Also, check out my other videos on the channel. 2 kids are just walking to school when suddenly, one kid's leg slips into a portal. Next thing you know, he's falling straight into hell. Yeah, you heard that right, hell. Down there, it's all about survival, where beasts hunt each other in a savage, brutal nightmare. Thrown into this cruel world, the kid has nothing but his wits to survive. At first, he's barely hanging on, scaring off weaker monsters. With time, he crafts weapons out of bones and starts taking down smaller creatures. But this isn't your typical overpowered MC story. It takes him 7 grueling years just to reach level 24, and a staggering 51 years to finally take down a dragon. Fast forward 80 years, and our MC is ready to face the demon god, the king of hell. But just when you think the epic showdown is about to go down, he suddenly wakes up in a hospital. Turns out he's been in a coma for 10 years, and what felt like 80 years in hell was all in his mind. His world is flipped upside down, weak, paralyzed, and thinking everything was a lie. A few days later, some loan sharks come by the hospital, roughing up his mom. Our MC calls them bugs, but gets beaten up because his body's still useless. Then, a system quest challenges him to move just 10 meters in an hour. He struggles, but makes it right at the last second. That's when the real game begins. Quest after quest, he fights to regain his strength and power, reclaiming his title as the king of hell. This MC is a total badass intense fights, ruthless mindset. And when the monsters of hell start begging him to lead them again, you know you're in for one hell of a ride. The manhwa is called Handai Sung Returned from Hell, and it's a wild journey you don't want to miss. Currently at 98 chapters, updating weekly. Go check it out. Looking for a manhwa where the MC picks crazy fights and shows no mercy? Let me introduce you to Roken, the king of violence. This guy was the #1 ranker in the virtual reality game called The Lord. The other rankers? They were always gunning for his spot, but our boy Rokan is an SSS-class berserker who decimates anyone who crosses him. He's got so many skills and power-ups that he takes out the top 10 rankers in a single hit. But just when he's at the top, another player named Odin steps in and starts climbing the ranks like crazy. Odin's got some broken abilities that give him overpowered long-range attacks, which is a problem for Rokan, who's all about close combat. Every time Rokan dies in the game, he loses equipment and drops a level. Odin's team takes him down so many times that Rokan plummets from 1st to 12th in the rankings. Stripped of his title King of Violence, Rokan is frustrated as hell. But when he wakes up, he finds himself back in his old apartment 3 years in the past, before the game was even released. Realizing he's got a second chance, Rokan starts training in martial arts, preparing to reclaim his top spot and take brutal revenge on Odin. He's pure badassery, sparing no one who stands in his way. The name of the manhwa is Return of the SSS Class Ranker, with 120 chapters available and updating weekly. Let's switch gears a bit. How about a one-man army type of manhwa featuring a necromancer? And no, I'm not talking about solo leveling. The story kicks off with high school students bullying another kid. Suddenly magicules start appearing and our MC is teleported to another world. He ends up saving the bullied kid but discovers that he can't use his magic anymore. Despite losing his powers, he still has the physical stats of a necromancer and clears out a dungeon using just his physical prowess. As he levels up, he regains his magic and starts summoning skeletons, knights, mages, and even leeches. But don't get it twisted, this isn't your run-of-the-mill necromancer story. He's got summons like golems, a Powerpuff Demon Girl, and 52 strong commanders with specialized skills. MC's power level is off the charts. He can off powerful opponents and turn them into his generals. He becomes so overpowered that even other countries beg him to clear their dungeons. This manhwa isn't just about dungeon crawling and fights. It's got world building, character development, and epic gate battles where he clashes with cosmic beings. The manhwa's name is Seoul Station Necromancer, currently with 145 chapters and updating weekly. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out other videos on my channel and subscribe Anime Fiction Reels for daily anime and manhwa recommendations.